should probably get better about recording. Recording now. Oh gosh, it's still playing. Stop. All right. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. What is it, the 14th of October already, which seems absolutely nuts, but here we are. I don't have anything to pass along to you guys other than the fact, like I said, there was a district meeting for membership, for the membership coordinators and membership committees on Saturday, and they did record the entire thing. So when I post the video for tonight's presentation and last week's presentation, hi David's friend, I will make sure that I send out the link to that as well, because one of the women who presented was supposed to be really fantastic. Mr. Cram, do you have something to share with the group?
I do. World Polio Day is coming up on the 24th. If you have not found a way to donate to Polio Plus, have I got a deal for you? I just sent you my Raise Rotary connecty thingy, trying to raise money for Polio Plus.
Thanks, John. Does anybody have a Happy Bucks moment they'd like to share? We're all celebrating tonight that Deb is good and she's home. All right.
I'd like a happy buck. I just celebrated my 51st wedding anniversary yesterday.
Congratulations, Rob. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a happy buck because it's the anniversary of Dwight David Eisenhower's birth.
Nice. David, did you have something?
Yeah, we've invited our local Rotaract group, and my son Logan I see his name in the chat. There's a Galaxy.
I was gonna say, I see this guy down here named Galaxy S10.
That might be one of us. We're expecting more. We're trying to round them up right now, but.
Cool. I was just gonna ask if we had any visitors. Logan is your son, David, and Mr. Galaxy. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, sorry. I'm James.
James?
I'm Vice President for the 400 North Rotaract Club and Assistant Governor for District 6910.
That is
awesome. Welcome.
Hi, Logan. Thanks for joining us.
Hi there. Thanks for having us. I am the secretary for the 400 North Rotaract Club.
That's awesome.
So the 400 North Rotaract Club, they participated in the eyeglass project. They raised some funds and got some glasses for it.
It's a little bit more than some funds and some glasses. You guys kicked butt. Thank you for the donation. That was awesome. All righty. Well, thank you guys for joining us. David wanted to make sure that you guys were able to join us if you had the opportunity tonight, because our speaker, Buscemi, who has been quite active previously in Rotaract and is the current president of her club, of the Houston Energy Corridor Rotary Club, as well as the Assistant Rotary Coordinator for Rotaract in Region 36. She's also the daughter of 2 Rotarians, so she got roped into this. And she's incredibly passionate about Rotary in general and Rotaract specifically, so we wanted to invite her tonight. So, Ms. Buscemi, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Thank y'all so much. So I have kind of a hybrid presentation tonight. I'm going to talk about, in a message before, we had talked about how to start a Rotaract Club. I know y'all maybe know how to do it, but I'm going to go over the basics just so y'all know, and some more information when it comes to Rotaract, and that's come out to the board decision. So I'm just so excited to be here tonight, and I will start my presentation if I can get this going. Okay, let's see, share. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay, so this is my road to Rotary, which includes many different little pit stops. And my name is Jenna Buscemi. I'm the president of my club, which you can see on my Zoom background over here. I've been in lots of different stuff I'm going to talk to you about tonight. But first, I'm going to do a real quick overview about some interesting stuff with Rotaract. So as of October 2019, they made board decisions that Rotaract clubs will be able to establish a new club with or without a sponsor. That is a very, very interesting thing, that they don't need a Rotary club to be a sponsor, or even better, you could have a Rotaract Club be your sponsor. So that was something that Rotary listened to what Rotaractors were saying, and they discovered they wanted more people, Rotaractors, to have the opportunity, whether or not there was an active Rotary Club in that area or not. So it was a wonderful addition. And then Rotaract is opened to all young adults at least 18 years old. So that means they got rid of that 30-year-old cutoff, which is the reason why I joined Rotary in the first place. And that happened in July of this year. Some more changes, and that there will be a little bit of dues coming in July 2022. For members of university, $5, and for community, it's going to be $8. So as part of one of my roles for Rotary, I'm an Assistant Rotary Coordinator for zones 29 and 25B for membership for Rotaract. It's a mouthful, I know. So what I like to do is to talk about, how to get membership going, how to start clubs, and just to go over some real quick stuff that I'm sure you already know, but it cannot hurt to learn about a little bit more. So to even start a club, I was shocked by the results you got on Google. I looked how to start a Rotaract Club, and this is what came up. I wasn't very happy with that, to be honest. The fact that you had to kind of go searching for how to just find the exact steps of how to do it did not make me happy, and I've sent an email to Rotary and told them to update it. So, because we need the information to be clear for Rotaractors, for Rotarians, so there's no miscommunication over what is required. So you have to go to Get Involved, and then you go to that page, you get the handbook, and then in the handbook it has what to do, which this handbook by itself is also outdated. Another fun thing they're going to have to update sometime soon. But starting Rotaract Club, you need to have in your Rotary meeting a discussion of, the needs of your community. Y'all had talked about having I believe, a young motorcycle enthusiast Rotaract Club to sponsor. I think that's wonderful to have a Rotaract Club that reflects your club and what you guys represent. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and it will definitely have a common ground for you guys that you most likely will not be, you'll be losing touch with them because you're going to be so active and sharing your passion. I think that is just amazing. And identifying club members not only for your Rotaract Club, but in your Rotary Club, they're going to be those liaisons. Be people that are going to keep connected with these Rotaractors to make sure you're not, having them fall through your grasp. Not very good. Establishing a base, I'm guessing because of what you had said, it would probably not be a school-based one because it would it'd be a little difficult, but there's not much difference with school-based compared to community-based. Community-based, you can have it be an e-club like you guys. You can have it be Passport, whatever you like, but it is a little bit more lenient when it comes to this one. And Rotary is pushing towards more community-based clubs rather than the university, because we're finding, like my university club when I was in Rotaract, I called it my Phoenix Club, because every single year we died in the spring and we were born again in the fall. Because people kept saying, oh, I'll be president. I'm a senior. It's fine. I can do this because it looks great on your resume. But they would leave and we would lose all of the resources. Imagine if your club president every year just left your club. It would be a drain on your club. It would be incredibly infuriating, to be honest. So it's a good thing they're pushing towards this. You need the bylaws, you need a club certification form, and okay, that's fine. And then you also a constitution. They have all these things online for Rotary right now. After all that's done, you share people, the good news, you invite, you share on social media, and you make new traditions. So that's kind of my little Rotaract spiel real quick in like 5 to 7 minutes for the information. And I wanted to share a little bit more about how I got involved with Rotary and how I got involved with Rotaract and how I am here right now. I was lucky enough to have my dad join Rotary when I was 7 years old. I got to go to all of his events. I didn't always like it, but I went because we didn't have a babysitter at that point, and I just really wanted to go and see what was going on. I loved going to his meetings. He made sure that he would take me when I didn't have school on Wednesdays at noon. He would make sure that I got to see that he was someone that gave of his free time, gave of whatever money that he had so he could make the world better. And what I didn't like a lot of the child was not seeing myself represented in his club. It was a large club here in Humble, Texas. It is, I mean, back then I remember them being like 1,000 members. I'm sure it was only like 100 members that were there, but it was all men. I didn't see anyone bringing their kids. I didn't see anyone bringing, you know, anyone that was not an older male. And I didn't feel like it was people like my father. And so I was comforted, but also I wanted to have more. My mom joined when I was 18, and I got to share that with my mom as well. She finally said, you know what, fine, I'll just start a club with you, Charlie. Fine, that's fine. They are both very involved in Rotary. My mom was on the RI board for Rotary and Interact, and then another one for emerging leaders. I don't remember the exact title of the RI committee, but she was so excited to be a part of that and help elevate Rotaract and to make sure that there is a Rotaractor on every single board of RI, every single committee of RI. She wanted to have one of them on there, so I have this Rotaract importance in my heart already. I got involved in high school. This is my my teacher advisor, who so happens to be my pastor right now. Because of that, he's become our family friend, and I've got to share, know him for, I mean, past 18 years. And we were the first club in Texas to do the Purple Pinky Project. I was very proud of that. And after that, I did short-term youth exchange to Spain, and I loved it. I loved it so much. But there was something that happened when I got back. I hid. I did what a lot of Rotarian children did, and they decided they had enough of Rotary. I had enough. I didn't want to go to another pancake or spaghetti dinner. I didn't want to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to another thing. I was sick of it. And the best part was my parents didn't say, you're going to come to this. It doesn't matter. We want you involved. They said, okay, great. If you want to come help us, you can. If not, that's fine. I took a few years off, and then I got involved in Rotex, which is a committee for past Rotary Youth Exchange students. Actually, the young man up here with the black shirt on called me about 20 minutes before the presentation. And I was like, I'm talking about Rotex tonight and Rotary and Rotaract. And he was so excited. I got to learn what Rotary did for everyone else, and not just for me. I saw what Rotary was, you know, my parents and people like that. But I got to see how Rotary impacted everyone else around me. It was fascinating to see what kind of changes they made in people. And one thing you learn from being an exchange student is you want to scream from the rooftops and the mountaintops how much fun you had and to talk about it so much, but there's only so much your family and friends can listen to. I learned that early on, and I didn't want to overburden them with, oh, in Spain I did that. So this committee let us kind of do that with each other. I got to learn about Germany and France and Belgium, and I mean, all over the world that I got to see through their eyes, and it was wonderful. I also got to talk to interactors and Rotaractors about youth exchange. Rotaractors, not so much, but more interactors. But it was a wonderful experience to keep me connected, and that's the way that I found my way back into Rotary. We had events like the Taste of Nations, which started in 2014, where all the exchange students brought a dish from their country, and they got to share it with everyone who wanted to come. It was a great event where we're all connected by food in some way or another, and seeing that these students were baking, you know, their mom's recipe or their grandma's recipe, or just one they hadn't had in 6-9 months. And they got to share it with us. And it was wonderful to see how excited they got and how much they really became invested in how it helped us connect with them as well. I love taking the youth exchange students to baseball games. The lovely girl, Eugenie, she had a fried chicken and mashed potatoes in a waffle cone at one of our baseball games. She was like, I have to have that. So obviously she had to try it, and I never thought that she would have done that. But that girl loved food, so that was another thing where we got to share a little more of the Texan and the American culture with them, and it's so fun seeing it through their eyes. when you see an exchange student come in and they've lived in a mild climate their entire life and they come to Texas in the middle of August, it's a shock for them. Those poor girls and boys are just like sweating, and then they come inside and they're freezing. So it was always fun to see that. But another way that I connected with Rotary through that. And I also, because of this, I got to know Patrick, who was staying with Chris and Uta. He was from Germany, and we loved spending time with him. It was everyone over here on the pictures were either from Germany or we were past youth exchange students. So I got to then connect with people that I would not have ever met if it had not been for Rotary, and just socialize and have a really good time with them and show them what Texas is like. After Rotex, I decided I needed to join Rotaract. I needed to be a part of it. I've talked about it for so long. I made my own club and it died. So I joined my university club. I ended up being vice president of their club. Please excuse the photo of Eric Liu on the left. He was our district governor at the time, and he didn't come to our meeting, but I wanted to make sure that he was in the photo with us. He's our selfie king here in Houston, so I wanted to make sure he was involved. But I loved being a part of Rotaract there. I learned how to engage with new members the best way possible through Rotaract. The first meeting I went to, I filled out a form. You know, how many days a week are you at university on campus? Do you live far away? What's your major? What hobbies do you have? And if any of y'all are friends with me on Facebook, I love baking. Or if you heard Uta talking before, I love baking food and sharing. So what they said is, great. In 3 weeks, you're going to have a bake sale. And I said, can it be Halloween? And they said, yeah. Oh, sorry, it's gone. It'd be Halloween. And so I had a Halloween in Polio Now bake sale / video game competition in the middle of the common area at University of Houston. So it was a really, really fun experience. And I learned to find out and ask the person, what are you passionate about? Oh, you like having socials? Great. Can you help us with our next social? Or you like doing projects? What kind of projects do you want to do? Do you want to book sorting? Do you want to physically go do some gardening somewhere? And kind of let them lead the way of how they want to be involved in Rotary. And then I follow whatever lead they have. I think it's wonderful to do that because it definitely made me feel invested in Rotaract and my club and the people that were present at the time. I got to be Rotaract DRR, or Rotaract District Governor, as I called it, because it was a little bit easier for Rotarians to understand. I got to be installed by past RI President Frank Devlin, which the Rotary nerd in me was freaking out that I had Frank Devlin install me. I love him. I was so sad to hear of his passing a little while ago. But he was an amazing Rotarian who, I mean, just lived and breathed Rotary and was an amazing person. I was so lucky. I got to go to Zone in Salt Lake City in 2017, I believe. And I got to be part of a Guinness World Record, the largest human Rotary cogwheel. So I'm one of the little yellow spots down there somewhere. It was beautiful weather, and it was a refugee event as well. So I got to then I knew Rotary in my district, and then I got to see what Rotary was in my zone. And it opened my eyes to those kind of things that are happening. And to meet new people and to just have a great time with them and share Rotary with them. I ended up dyeing my hair purple, and last slide, my hair is purple in there. I did it for polio awareness. It was my purple polio hair for about 2.5 years. And I was lucky enough to be called up by someone from the Rotarian magazine wanting to do an article about me. So I had a full page thing in the 2018 March issue, which was the Rotaract issue for Rotarian magazine, and it was the coolest thing. I got to share, and I had about 3 or 4 people say, because of me dyeing my hair purple, they dyed their hair purple. And they got to share it, because you can change your Rotary pen, you can change your Rotary tie or your shirt, but you can't, if your hair is purple, you're going to stand out no matter what. So I would use it as people would kind of look at me and I go, oh, I see you noticing my hair. I love your scarf. You know, I'm involved with Rotary. This is my awareness for polio. And a woman in Montana saw my article and made a lovely cement bust of my head. So I have a very heavy cement bust, which I don't know what to do with still, but I love it. And this woman just thought of making it, send it to my family, and they surprised me at one of my Rotary meetings. It was really, really cool they got to do that. It was just one of those weird things of you don't know the kind of people you're going to interact with that you're going to have an effect on until it already happens. I got to go to the RI convention in Toronto, which was this lovely Rotaract Young Professional event that I went to. Lots of fun, meeting people there from all around the world. It was my first, my second real RI convention. Atlanta the year before was my first. Completely opened my eyes. So district, zone, and then international in about 2 years was absolutely amazing. I loved being a part of it and seeing all that had to be shared. I got to be a part of the Rotaract pre-convention that year. I got to be a speaker of 2 of the breakout sections about dealing or interacting with students and how Rotaractors should also be mentors towards them the same way they want Rotarians to be their mentors. So it's not we want to strengthen the bonds between Interact, Rotaract, and Rotarians as strongly as we possibly can so we can keep those Interactors and Rotaractors involved. And also when it comes to dealing with Rotaract sponsors, because it was wonderful because I had a whole presentation with Raquel next to me from Mexico, and we ended up doing none of it. And we had a complete question and answer period where an advisor would just stand up, have a question, and we'd had a Rotaractor stand up and answer it. So it was an hour long of an honest conversation where no one was scared to say, you know, am I going to upset someone? Because their Rotary advisor, they weren't there, but someone else was there. So it was a really fun way of breaking down the walls and making sure that people were, the term past district governor in my district says, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it's really good because you can't be polite and Rotary all the time. There are some hard conversations you have to have. So I am good friends with Eric and Sandry Liu. They are amazing. He was a PDG 4 years ago, I think. But I joined Rotary because one day he called me up and said, Sandy's making a new club. She's going to be the president. Do you want to be a member? And I said, yeah, I'm about to age out of Rotaract and I want to be an example. I'll join. And so I was over the moon because that was only the second time in my entire Rotary career someone had ever asked me to join Rotary. I mean, at 18, you can join. I was asked once when I was about 26 and I didn't feel like I was ready yet. And when I was asked when I was 29 at that point that if I could join, and we would meet once a month, have a social and have a project, and you had to do 2 of those. We've adapted now a little differently because of COVID. We're on Zoom still, but it was heartwarming to have them want me to be a part of it. This is our first photo. We are not this large anymore. We're about 11 members. We're small but mighty is what my parents' club says. They're also about 12 members. So I love it. I love the members in my club. We all are close, and it makes me happy that I have who we have, and we're able to share our Rotary passion. I'm Assistant Rotary Coordinator for Membership for Rotaract for our zone, well, Region 36 technically. And this was a really fun picture at our Lone Star Pets last year. Holger was there talking, and then we had David, Raquel, and Betsy. We were all Rotaractors before, and every one of us here, including Holger in a way, we were president-elects of our clubs or Rotary International. So it was a really fun photo of like, look at these presidents-elect. And even though Holger wasn't a Rotaractor, he still is passionate about Rotaract. So it was a really fun experience to be able to interact and have that photo, and I just love him. I got to be installed as my club president on June 25th of this year. My father is also the president of his club, And so we had a joint installation. We had been planning a really fun party, you know, father-daughter installation of their clubs, and we had it on Zoom instead, which was fine. And we're gonna have a party whenever this all is done with at some point to celebrate. But it was a really fun way of us coming together and supporting each other. I got really involved on Fridays doing a lovely trivia with some Scottish Rotarians and friends of the Rotarians. And it brought me back to the international level, even though we're stuck here in COVID. And it kind of, it reinvigorated me. It gave me something to look forward to. And if it wasn't for Rotary, every day would have been exactly the same. But Fridays were a little bit fun with the trivia, and I liked that. So here's a little bit of my resume, I guess. As you can see, everything I talked about here also was the first dual membership Rotaractor for my district. So that was a really fun thing that I got to do. My main goal in Rotary is to show other children of Rotarians that there's more than just your parents' Rotary Club. There's more than just that. My mom said, you know, your first club is not going to be our club. It's going to be someone else's club. If you want to join later on, that's fine. But she wanted me to find my own identity as a Rotarian, and has always supported me for doing that. She even supports me down the forward in the left corner when she was handing me the lovely cement bust, and I almost dropped it on my foot, but she caught it for me. I am just so incredibly excited to share those kind of things and to have a family Rotary. My brother's the only one that is not involved, but that's okay. He'll come around one day. Okay, so the main important thing when it comes to my road to Rotary is those dead ends that some young people have in Rotary, or even Rotarians have. You get stuck in the mud. You find a dead end. You're trying to get somewhere and you just stop because there's just nothing else. You're tired of it. But instead of thinking it as a dead end, what I was thinking for a while, I thought of it more of a rest stop for me. Those few years in between Youth Exchange and Rotex, it was me charging my batteries. This may be a little, I'm not sure where all y'all are, but we have Buc-ee's here in Texas. And so Buc-ee's is our lovely rest stop and amazing. So I love the fact that you can think of it in that way. It's not a forever stop. You're not having to go in reverse and go back down that highway. Your road to Rotary, it has a few pit stops, and that's completely okay. The road to Rotary, it never ends. I mean, you think about it, the highest person in Rotary that I can imagine is RI President. But when you're done being RI President, you're not done being a Rotarian. Your road to Rotary keeps going on. Every one of us needs a little bit of help sometimes when it comes to our Rotary batteries, especially in these times where we're seeing a lot of stuff behind the screen. We're not maybe doing a lot in person, and it can be really difficult. I think it's great to share your story and to also ask others what their story is. I think that is incredibly necessary to Rotary staying alive, because at the pace we're going right now, Rotary in North America will be gone in 49 years, I believe, and we're going to have to do something different to stop it. That's just the bottom line of it. We're going to start doing something else. Something that my club is doing, that if y'all would like to come to it, will be tomorrow night. It was inspired by those Scottish trivia nights that I would have on Zoom, is we do points for polio. So this is kind of we did one in August, and this is kind of our World Polio Day event, but it's not on World Polio Day. It's Polio Month for us. So we do an online virtual trivia where it costs $10, which is a direct to donate to End Polio Now. You just send me your receipt to the email and to our email, and then you get the link. And it's going to be a really fun night. We've done a few of these in the past for fun, and then last time we raised $2,300. This time, our district governor is saying presidents of the club need to say, if someone donates X amount of money, whatever you'd like, you get to put a pie in your face. So what I have said is the highest donor tomorrow will put a pie in my face, and then a random participant will also be able to do it. So I'm following through on what he said, but more than anything else, I want it to be a fun event, something to shake things up, that it's not always the same thing every time. And I do it for Rotaractors. I do it for other clubs that ask me to be a part of it. It's a fun way of just getting together. This is my contact information if you have any questions. Some of the other PowerPoints with how to make a Rotaract Club I have ready to go if anyone wanted to share that or have that for any reason. But add me on Facebook. I'm pretty active on there, like keeping up. But I welcome all information. If you want to share your story with me, I would love to hear it. I love hearing Rotary stories and emails. It's a really fun thing for me. But that is it for me. And I wanted to thank you guys so much for letting me come on here and share my Rotary story and a few Rotaract facts. But thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Jenna. That's a lot of stuff, man.
I know.
It's fun.
No, it's awesome. There's nothing wrong with it. Before we ask questions and stuff, I have 2 people who joined. Galaxy S9, who I think might be Scott.
Nope.
Just kidding,
I'm-
not Scott. No, Scott, Rotaractor Scott, I think.
Oh.
And then Amanda joined David, and we forgot to introduce her earlier. So Amanda is also the Rotaract Coordinator for your district, David? Yes, cool. I didn't see any questions come through in the chat, but I did post the link for the Points for Polio event from the Facebook page, Jenna, so that everybody can join. I'm made of questions, but I always talk a lot. So let's see if anybody else has questions.
Anything?
Cool. Okay, cool, my turn. So where did you go in Spain? Where were you?
I was in Leon, which is in the north, where they talk different. I learned the Mexican accent for Spanish, being here in Houston, and that is not how they speak in Spain. And so they would speak, and I would go, what? And they thought that I could understand, but I could understand actual Spanish. I mean, I guess more Latin American and American Spanish than actual Spanish, but yeah, in Leon, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and I was an exchange student in Valencia, where they don't even speak Spanish at all. So I went through the exact same thing. That's very cool. So I had a very similar, well, not similar. I wish it had been similar. I wish I had found Rotaract, because I was an exchange student in high school when I was 16. Looking around the room, we have a number of people in our club who were part of that club that sponsored me. Rory is on here somewhere, or he was. There he is. Hi, Rory. And then the individual the man who started this club, Jerry Jackson, was president, I believe, of the Davisburg club that sponsored me. But then I poofed away from Rotary until I was 37, right? Because of the same thing. I joined the Army. I was flying all over the place. There wasn't this cool environment like we have now, where we've got people all over the United States and Canada. But I came back at 37. So one thing that I guess nobody in the club really knows yet is next year I will be part of the district's membership committee. And my push is specifically to get rebounds back. So people who were exchange students previously, where did they go? Because there's a lot of us, I have 50 friends who are not Rotarians yet that we could be bringing back. So I love that you were involved in, as an exchange student, and then you came into Rotaract, and then you had that transition. So I would love to work with you this year and next year, while we're putting that stuff together, to see how we can bridge that gap so that we can bring back the old farts like me, and then also make sure that the kids who are coming out know that that Rotaract is an option, and that our club is, and that our hopefully new club under David's president year, our new Rotaract club will be the perfect place for them to join.
That's wonderful. Honestly, yeah. What zone are y'all in? I'm able to help you with that.
27? Anybody want to
Okay.
fix me?
So I won't be helping you at zone, but we're having a fun thing. I'm a Rotaract integrator for our zone next year, for our actual zone. So I'm trying to work, maybe y'all can bring this to your zone as well, of having one Rotaractor in every single one of the tracks at zone as my goal. I want to have one from every single district, but I'll settle for 8. Instead of the 23, I'll settle for 8. I think that was going to double our numbers from 2 years ago. So, but it's important to have the Rotaractors involved in zone levels, I think, because it shows them, because you know your club, you kind of know your district, but when you go to a zone event or you go to an international event, which is, I'm not sure the next time is actually going to happen, because of all of this. But it is a life-changing experience when it comes to your Rotary passion. Same thing with Rotaract pre-convention over at the RI convention. I've never met anyone who's been like, oh, I just wasted my time at the Rotaract pre-con. No, you love it because there's the the nerds, the Rotary nerds that are in Rotaract always make me so happy because they are so, like when Barry Rassin came in, I mean, you would have thought we were gonna like bring the roof down because of how excited we were for him to come and speak to us. It's just amazing to see how my Rotary batteries are recharged by being a part of that. And I think it's so important for Rotarians to push Rotaractors to get involved in more than just their district and their zone to go as high as you want and to apply to all of those RI committees that you can, because they want to interact or Rotaractor on some of those. So applying to those, the cutoff I believe was in August, but it'll open up again for next year. And so it's important that we support them for doing that. But yeah, sorry, I'm talking too much again.
No, you're not talking too much. That's why we invited you, Jenna. You have important things to say. So, anybody else have questions? Mr. Lindgren.
Yeah, I mean, the energy that you portray is just unbelievable. I love it. But would it be okay? I'd also like to hear a little bit from James and Logan on why you're a member of Rotaract and what do you get out of it?
Logan, you want to take point on that one?
It sounds like you don't want to. Yeah. I mean, like, we're both college age. Rotaract is a great way to get experience, to give back to the community. We both were founding members of our Rotaract Club, and we've done a lot of work through it. It has been great in terms of giving us opportunities to, improve our resumes along with just our experience. For example, I won the scholarship, Norway scholarship to study abroad in Oslo for over the summer. And James, you've got some good stuff going on with Rotaract too, right?
Yeah, it's definitely paid its dividends in that, one, I have the opportunity to serve on the local level, and then it was such an opportunity to partner with you guys to do.
She was very interesting.
I forgot they had off.
And that was such an amazing experience to have a project internationally. Yeah, and then I've received some scholarships from the Dawson County Rotary Club, which is Amanda's club, for university, just paying for school. Being able to serve on the district level as an area governor for Rotaract has been amazing, and I've met a lot of young professionals who also want to give back, future Rotarians that are promising future members of Rotary that have a lot of great ideas for Rotary on the international and on the district level. So it's just been amazing to meet all those people, and I loved getting involved with that. And then I think if I hadn't have joined originally to the 400 North Club, Amanda and David may have beat me up. They might have beat me up. And then David and I have talked, because Amanda threatened me, because David and I talked that we were going to start our own Rotaract or motorcycling Rotaract club, because I've got a motorcycle as well. And I was like, yeah, we should do that. That would be fantastic. And Amanda's like, you're not leaving 400 North.
Yet.
I think this is pretty great. And I have one question on Jenna, because she's, I'm in this district since I'm in America, so it's 8 years ago. So I saw her growing, and a lot of her steps I saw also. But what I would like that she share, maybe, or you share, Jenna, your experience in how it helped you to get your professional.
Overall, Rotary has helped me understand how to deal with people. It helped me understand how to run a meeting, how to professionally deal with others when you do not get along with them. That has been a very valuable, lovely an example, lesson for me when it comes to Rotary. How to put on a face when you may not, need it. It didn't directly help me professionally with my current job, but it gave me all the skills that got me to this point. It helped me understand how to manage my time, how to deal with people that are maybe a little more difficult than others. It gave me experiences and connection with people that made me a better person, which then gave me more drive to get a better education and then a better job. So it's I do not imagine the person I would have turned out to be without Rotary, because I've always known Rotary. It's kind of hard when you're a kid of a Rotarian, you've grown up in it, that you can't imagine how the four-way test hasn't affected my life. There's just too many ways that it has affected my life in a positive way, and I'm incredibly lucky that I've been able to use my Rotary lessons in my professional life. And thank you for that question.
You're welcome.
I think we're going to find, especially this year, what we're seeing is it's incredibly important to look to the guidance of our younger members who may be more technologically savvy, who may be more willing to speak up when it comes to, we've had quite a few conversations internally to our club with things like, how do we keep members engaged? We've got a lot of us still work during the day. I work on Zoom all day long. Like you said, Jenna, like how do we break up the mundane of the day-to-day by making these meetings a little bit more interesting and engaging? And how do we continue to engage when it's so hard? You don't have that physical connection, you don't have the handshake at the beginning of a meeting, things like that we need new ideas, we need fresh ideas. And we have people who maybe are new to it, who aren't ingrained in the way that things have always been done, to start interjecting and injecting those ideas into our club. So no pressure, you guys, but like future's on you.
But I think it's a great idea. Amanda is the president right now. I will be the president after Amanda, and David will be the president after me. And hopefully, Scott, you're coming up after that. So what I mean
By
is,
then I'll be empty nested, might have enough time.
no, what I mean is, I think the idea Jenna brought up tonight is pretty great with young professionals on motorcycles. So I'm working, my theme is in my year, it's a convention in Houston. And right now I try to make everything happen. My husband is in the planning for the host events in Houston. So, and I try to make a convenient space for the motorcycle people in Houston. So, and I think it's a great idea to invite the young people to be a part of the motorcycle. It's not only old guys, right? And old women. It's, I would like to make really something special on that, because my passion is motorcycle. And this is why, I joined the club, and I really want to put all my energy inside to make it nice in the convention as well. So when you come up with some new ideas, like James come up, or the other, I have some ideas. I'm pretty open for that. Maybe we can do something like that.
For sure. And obviously you guys are always welcome to join our meetings. 100%. Anytime. If you're like, man, I sure haven't had enough Zoom today. Wonder what I could do to get some more Zoom in my life.
That never happened.
We do have a happy hour meeting on the fourth Wednesdays. And that is it's just a free form. We're starting to get a lot of people joining, which is great. So what I started doing last time is doing some breakout room stuff. Just go learn, put 4 or 5 people in each room and go learn. And I think I'm going to subject you guys to some silly games that I have picked up through the work Zooms, because I can do that and you have to listen. Just trying to keep it interesting. And like I said, the fourth Wednesday is just that free form meeting. The rest of the Wednesdays, first, second, third Wednesdays, we do have a speaker. The speakers have been really varied, you guys. I mean, we've had everything from a scientist who is studying neurological effects of light on Alzheimer's patients and rats mostly. And all the way to, you know, week before last, I think we had a company from Australia join us from Australia to talk us through, you know, what their off-road campers look like. I mean, so it's been really cool and really varied. And then obviously, if you guys are interested and you'd like to present something, we would love to hear that too. James, was it you that said you had the motorcycle?
Yes.
What do you have?
Yeah, I've got a little starter bike. It's a little Suzuki TU 250, and I love it. It's what I took my test on, and I fell in love with it. My neighbor had one before I took the test on one, and then I rode that to get my license, and I was like, this is meant to be. I love this bike. Then I bought it, and I rode it for like 3 months, and I was like, I need something bigger. So I think that's just every rider's dilemma, is either buying their first bike too big or too small. It's not just right.
It's a trajectory, James, where you start small and you get up to a little more weight, a little more power, and then eventually, you know, when you get to be wise and older, you start to think, wow, something small and nimble would be a lot of fun. And you get back and you rediscover the joy in magazine after you get off the big GS or the Goldwing or whatnot.
But with the motorcycles, you never get old and wise, Scott.
I was gonna say this is like guitars. Okay. You can never have enough or the right one.
Yeah.
The TU though, that's a fat tire bike, right?
Hmm?
James, that's one of that little fat tire bike. The TU 250.
It's a dirt bike, right?
It's it sits like a dirt bike in that it's a standard style. So you have, you know, your bikes directly under you. It's not like the cruiser or the sports bike. So yeah, it's similar to. It looks kind of like it looks kind of like the Triumph Bonneville. It's got that real vintage 60s European vibe.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Why I wanted it is I like that kind of 60s European style that you see in the Triumphs and that you see in the Royal Enfields. So, yeah,
it's always depends what you want to do with the bike. If you want to go, like me, I like to go long distance. So you need a bike you can make long distance. Or some other people, I had also like a supermoto. Do you know what a supermoto is? It's like a dirt bike with street tires. So,
okay.
And you like the light and curvy area, you know, this is my special thing. So, but it's always depend what you want to do with the bike. This is the reason why you pick one or the other bike.
Or both.
Or multiple.
Or both. Maybe the garage is big enough, you know, so.
Yeah, I'm no speed demon, so I'm not going crazy fast on it. And I have no desire to go like 100 miles an hour. I like taking nice little rides in the fall and the spring, especially up, you know, North Georgia mountains. Yeah. We have a lot of good roads up here to have some fun on. So
actually, we just had a presenter. David was the guy that presented with the maps. Did he cover the North Georgia mountains in his maps? Do you remember?
Came from
Blue Ridge.
You did, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rode one of the. I bought his map and I rode one of the routes on it. It was Wolfpen Gap. Incredible. But yeah, so yeah, we have just great roads up here in the mountains. But yeah, awesome. We have forestry roads too that go like there's 18,000 acres of forest. So there's gravel roads that go all through it, and then you can go to paved, twisty mountain roads all in a day.
That sounds awesome.
The other nice thing about this group is the IFMR connection. And so I was on a business trip last fall over in Germany and met up with some Rotarians to go ride in France near the border of Germany while I was over there on business. It's funny because I haven't met any of these folks in the flesh yet, but my first meeting with Rotarians on motorcycles was over in Europe.
Yeah, so every one of us that's a member of this club is also a member of the International Fellowship of Motorcycling Rotarians. So I should have started, I usually start with who we are before we go into who you guys are, but so we're about 50 members. We have 25 active and 25 what we call associate members. The associate members are members of a brick and mortar club somewhere, and then they come and they're honorary members essentially here. And we are literally all the way across the United States and Canada. We've got a member in Mexico City, one down in Guatemala. If we could figure out how to make it work, the guy in India really wants to join, but the time zones aren't working. We have a fairly regular person who joins us from just outside of London. He comes into our happy hour meetings every once in a while. So that's who we are. We actually are part of District 6380, which is up near Detroit. So it's part of Michigan and part of Canada is our district. Should have started with that. Sorry, guys. So Jenna, thank you again for joining us tonight. Thank you for the presentation. It was fantastic. Guys, again, I did post the link to her Polio Points fundraiser that they're doing tomorrow night in the chat. I can be obnoxious and post it again. Boom, it's in the chat right now. It's the last thing in the chat. It's always dangerous when you paste something and you got to look before you hit enter.
But Jenna, you're still not meeting in person, right? You only make the online thing right now.
Yeah, we're only online because our members in my club, we're from all over. I mean, my club technically is Energy Corridor, but that is about an hour drive for me. So, and we're kind of all over Houston, which is giant. So it's not the easiest to meet, and I want to make sure that we're safe here in Houston before we start doing that, because I do not want anyone to get sick because of a Rotary meeting. So we're small, but it won't be that dangerous, but still want to make sure. I'm a little overcautious.
So you guys are meeting online. When are your meetings?
We meet on the first and third Thursday of every month at 6:30 Central Time. And the first meeting of the month is normally our formal, kind of like this. We have a speaker. And then the third Thursday is our social project fundraiser or whatever we have. So a little more fun. We had a Taste of Texas beer tasting a few weeks ago where I picked out, we have little single cans at the grocery store from a HEB over here, grocery store. And I picked 9. You had to pick at least 4 of them, and we tasted them together as a group and we rated them. Some were really bad and some were really good. But the next one's gonna be a little tiny pack from like the liquor store one over here in Houston, where it's like a little tiny taster of all the different flavors. I don't really drink, so I'm letting them pick what they want to do. But yeah, that's what we do on our third one. It's again trying to mix it up, trying to get people to come. And it's fun because those kind of events, trivia and that event, you don't have to be a member of the club to come and have fun. We, support spouses coming for trivia. I make it kid friendly. So if anyone's teenager wants to come or any child wants to be a part of it, and it's all online. So you go on your phone on AHA Slides, and it's all through your phone as well as your computer. So it's fun.
All right, I'm gonna be picking your brain for some cool stuff to do for our happy hour. Maybe we could do can we do a club exchange? We do a club exchange.
You have to figure out digital banners or something.
Yeah, we're actually working on developing a digital banner that we can exchange when we have people come in.
Maybe we can make a meeting together.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe we can invite you guys to our 4th Wednesday, and we could crash your 3rd Thursday.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll let y'all know any future things coming up. If y'all do want to come to the trivia tomorrow, on the invite on Facebook, it says just do at least a $10 donation, send me the receipt, and you get the Zoom link, just because I don't want anyone to, knock on wood, Zoom bomb us.
Oh, we haven't had that. We haven't had that yet. Cross our fingers.
It happened at one of the Scottish trivias, and it was for a lovely fundraiser for a group home for people with special needs, and they started spouting off some of the most hateful stuff. And so now I am very, very cautious about putting any, it wasn't my event, so I didn't put it out there, but I'm very cautious about any events, any links going anywhere now, because that was really bad.
Yeah, the other side of that is I've got the waiting room enabled, and then I forgot to let people in, like Logan. Sorry,
done that too.
I was like enthused. I was listening to you so intently that I completely missed the fact that there are like 7 people in the, yeah, sorry guys.
That's so funny.
All right.
I gotta bow out, but Jenna, thanks again. I emailed you about my 20-year-old maybe getting into Rotaract. So
oh, perfect. Yeah, got it. Okay, perfect.
There.
Thank you for joining, Scott. All right, I was just gonna say we're 3 minutes to the top of the hour, so let's pick on Ron Mead, would you join us or lead us in the four-way test?
Sure. And the things we say, think, or do, is it the truth? Will it be fair to all concerned?
Is it fair
Will
to
it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And fifth,
And then will it be fun?
will it be fun? It will if Ron Mead is involved.
Again, Jenna, I
Hopefully.
just got to say thank you so much. I think you've got your club misnamed. It shouldn't be Houston Energy. It should be Jenna Energy.
Oh, that's so sweet. My nickname for my club is AGC, so we do heck yeah. That's that's my little joke for my name of my club. It hasn't caught on to everybody else yet, but I think it's funny. So
I think we should all join. Like I said, we'll crash one of your meetings and we will amplify your heck yeah, and then it'll be, well, people have picked it up from outside. It's huge. You guys
I like it.
hashtag heck yeah. All right, cool. You guys,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, James and Logan. Amanda, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Next week is me as your presenter. We're gonna talk all about how we're gonna do cool things this year. So look forward to seeing you guys. Have a fantastic evening.
Bye, everybody. Thanks again, James and Logan.
Bye-bye, guys.
Good night, all.
Thanks for having us.